Originally released back in September of 2021 on Xbox, Tainted Grail Conquest is a unique take on the roguelike deck builder. The game features a fully 3D world, well-modeled enemies, a few friends, and lots of deadly mist. This is set in Avalon, after all, the mythical area from the legends of King Arthur. Mystery abounds as you enter a world destroyed, where time itself is broken, and you must traverse the weirdness to try and piece it back together. It's available now in Game Pass for console PC, and it's darn fun. I'll tell you all about it in the XboxEra review of Tainted Grail Conquest. There's one key way that developer Awaken Realms Digital has differentiated this game from the rest, and that is its focus on being a story-rich RPG alongside the roguelike deck-building action. There's a large, well-written, and manageable amount of text as you play. Your runs rarely get bogged down by this text. Instead, you get hits whenever you complete an area or recruit a new member to your village, or find a special NPC or area on the map. The story here is about Merlin and Arthur's voyage to the mystical island of Avalon going horribly and resulting in a world and time-destroying calamity that the player character needs to fix by beating 4 progressively more difficult beasts of legend. To do this, you have 9, but more like 3 classes at your disposal. A warrior, a summoner, and a ranged-focused archetype that each have 3 variants to them. I personally found the summoner to be my go-to playstyle and used him throughout much of my time with the game. After an introduction with a horned creature, a very large number of candles, and a city in disrepair, the game begins. There are multiple paths that branch out from this small town, and a successful run will see you clearing all 4 in progression. This is a roguelike, so each area is procedurally generated, rather small, and is dotted with various helpful and combative items throughout. It's a fun system in comparison to the more text 2D-based ones seen in titles I've reviewed such as Slay the Spire and Monster Hunter, which are both on Game Pass as well. Moving around and avoiding particularly nasty fights was a fun twist on things, and the graphics look darned nice for the genre and the price, which is $19.99 in the US. The bread and butter of any game like this, though, is that deck-building combat, and the persistent upgrades you can acquire to hone that meta-breaking build to your heart's content. Tainted Grail uses a similar energy system to other games of its kind. Each card has a set base cost, but various per-run buffs can change that. Each run will see you level up with randomized perks and cards becoming available as you progress. Finding the right class, cards, and perks is that carrot on a stick that makes these games so damn fun for me. I struggled mightily to beat the first boss with the initial warrior class, but on my second run with the summoner, I not only beat him, I freaking destroyed him, and it felt great. You can be at the mercy of that random nature, but figuring out what works best in each situation can be so damned fun, and that run-based nature with it is always available in the save and quit, so that I could just come back later if things were getting frustrating, and it makes this the type of game that I will always have installed. One big difference here from other games of this ilk is the block system. Instead of it blocking a set amount of damage, a block will completely negate all damage for that one hit. To counteract this, most creatures can attack multiple times in one move. So stacking block or adding in the barrier cards, which act more like the classic block system of something like Slay the Spire, helps to counteract this in a never-ending balance. And the same thing ends up going for your attacks on enemies. You will need to level up as much as possible in each area to be ready to take on the legendary beast that is your main target. This encourages you to push as far as possible so that you can maximize your build. Alongside this per-run leveling is an overall account-based system tied mainly to classes, as well as finding residents to help build up your town. There are 7 residents to find in total, and they offer key services such as blacksmithing, man-at-arms, and perhaps the most important, the Candlemaker. That's because to go anywhere in this game, you need light to pierce through that deadly Avalon mist. The town is a haven, and certain parts of the map have stones that offer brief respite around them. When you're not in these areas, though, you will rely on your weird candles, which are in limited supply and duration at first. As you progress through the game, you will earn various currencies that help you permanently upgrade the items you take on runs, such as the runes you can find and slot into your gear for per-run benefits, or the health potions you can accrue. The mix of per-run and account-based upgrades feels great and encourages you to try out diverse types of builds, as nothing ever feels like it's going to waste. You're always earning something, and it rarely feels pointless because of that. There is one stickler here, though, and that's that it never felt quite as deep tactically as Slay the Spire or even Monster Drain. The 9 classes are really just 3, with a little bit of variety for each, and the overall card count felt a bit wanting at times, with the same 5 or 6 cards being used in most of my runs. As stated previously, Tainted Grail Conquest is far better looking than the average game in this genre. There's a mix of 3D models, well-drawn art, and effects during combat that help keep this dreary hellscape from ever looking dull. The control while moving around your character in between fights is a bit stiff, but it is still so much more than what you normally get. At the start of the game, you are met with a competent character creator that saw my inner pink demon come out to play, and the artwork in the cutscenes is solid across the board. Sound-wise, the music is okay, if a little bit forgettable, but the voice acting is damned good. Featured during cutscenes and when you interact with NPCs, much of this game is fully voice acted. The writing allows the actors to build up the deep mystery of what is going on in this fractured world in a way that elevates things. The story of Monster Train, for instance, is a few lines in an opening cinematic, and then you'd never think about it again. Having something fleshed out to this degree added to keeping my interest quite a bit. In conclusion, if you enjoy deck-building roguelikes and the thought of one with a competent and well-voiced story excites you, then this is a game for you. Available on both console and PC with Game Pass, there's not really any excuse to at least try it. While it may not reach the heights of others in the genre tactically during its combat, it makes up for it with its competency in pretty much everything else. So pick up a weird candle, traverse the mists on the Broken Isle, and start cleaning up that kook Merlin's mess. Thank you so much for watching, and if you can like, comment, and subscribe, it really does help the channel grow, and you can also visit us at patreon.com/XboxEra if you really want to help. And we'll see you next time.